Thank you, and thank you for very thoughtfully closing the curtains to this room so that we shall not be distracted by the view outside, which would have otherwise made this discussion impossible. Goran, thank you very much for inviting us back to Dubrovnik this year for the Croatia Summit. Congratulations to your country on its achievement, and congratulations to Hungary for the steady leadership which it provided over the last 6 months to the European Union, and particularly for focusing so much attention to our part of the world, the Western Balkans. Ladies and gentlemen, as we stand here today in the beautiful city of Dubrovnik, thousands of miles away from us, the 193rd country is being born. South Sudan became independent today. I just want to remind everyone of this because many of the people sitting around this table 20 years ago, over the last 20 years ago, have gained independence and would not have been sitting around this table had it not been for the willingness of their people to take control of their own lives and their own countries. And this is a fundamentally important issue as far as we're concerned in making sure that both independent countries and countries that are capable of undertaking the obligations of membership in the Western Balkans become part of the European Union. We have a historic mission. Much has been said about that. I'd just like to remind everyone that if there's one part in Europe where war still needs to be made impossible, this is the Western Balkans. And if all our other reasons outstanding, this is the foremost historic reason why every country in the Western Balkans, in the Balkans in general, must be part of the European Union. We have a historic mission in that, and this is in the interest of Europe, it's in the interest of the region, it's in the interest of every single national state in this part of the world, including my own. Bulgaria believes that there is no other strategic priority for us in our Balkans policy than assisting our neighbors to become part of the European Union. In doing this, we think that there are two things that need to be done, broadly speaking. First of all, we need to sit back and identify very carefully what are the roadblocks, the hurdles that need to be overcome country by country, and then team up with others in moving forward and removing these hurdles or these roadblocks so as to facilitate the process of our neighbors moving forward. Perhaps one of the biggest contributions that many of us can make in this debate is by outlining the mistakes that we have made in order to help others avoid making them. The second area, which is very, very important, is to continue the debate in Europe to keep the door open for membership in the European Union and for the enlargement towards the Western Balkans. I use this opportunity today to call on my friends János and Carl Bildt and Karol and everyone else who in a week or so will be in Brussels for the next Foreign Affairs Council meeting and the General Affairs Council meeting. I call on all of us to come out with a strong and symbolic act in supporting the European Parliament's call for making Sarajevo the European capital of culture in Europe in 2014. 2014 is a historic year. It will be 100 years since the beginning of the First World War, and it would bring great symbolism to the future of this part of the world, as well as for the fact that Europe has changed dramatically and irreversibly since 1914, if we were able to make that exception and allow for Sarajevo to also have that title in 2014. Well, I'll pass the message that there's been overwhelming support for the idea next week. Unanimous support. When we look at the region, we can look at the opportunities that enlargement will create for all of us, but we also need to look at those challenges that still remain. And much has been said by János and by others about the challenges that remain. I would like to, however, point out very briefly to one very important challenge. There is one country in the Western Balkans that still has no contractual relationship with the European Union. There is one country in the Western Balkans whose citizens cannot travel to the rest of Europe without visas. There is one country in the Western Balkans to which part of its territory is still unresolved, and this is Kosovo. I believe that it is very important for all of us to focus right now over the next 6 months and over the next year in facilitating the development of a a roadmap for visa-free travel for Kosovo, in developing a relationship that will allow for the people of Kosovo, the newest independent state in the Western Balkans, to feel at an equal foot with the rest of our neighbors and their neighbors as well. Bosnia and Herzegovina remains a key country to the stability and future of the Western Balkans. One area which is highly important for the political leaders in Bosnia and Herzegovina to address is to remove those roadblocks that continue to exist in its relationship with NATO, particularly in resolving the issues that are outstanding on the property of the Yugoslav National Army. Recently, the Slovenian Foreign Minister and myself visited Sarajevo. We spent a whole day in meetings with political leaders of Bosnia and Herzegovina, a fascinating day indeed. What struck me, and I use this forum again as an opportunity to call for a dialogue in Bosnia that goes beyond the numbers and the percentages and the votes of each and every political party. It is important for politicians in every country, if they want to be responsible to their citizens and to their electors, to talk about their vision for the future of their country, not to talk about the percentages that divide or unite a composition of any future government. In that, I think it's important for all of us, the neighbors of Bosnia and Herzegovina, in the Balkans and in Europe, to issue a joint call to the political leaders of Bosnia to stand up firm and ready to define in front of the citizens of Bosnia what their vision for the future is, and to bring those political parties that need to come together around a common vision for the future of the country. Otherwise, we will end up in a situation which will be unsustainable. Last but not least, it is very important for us to identify areas of cooperation in Southeastern Europe in addressing key challenges to the region. Crime and corruption remain a massive challenge for the whole region. Every time a police network in one or another country breaks up some sort of gang, they find that there are members of that gang from other countries in Southeastern Europe. It is very, very important for us to step up our cooperation on that. Addressing infrastructure projects as well is extremely important, and developing the outlines of a common energy market to address the deficiencies that currently exist in the entire region. Last but not least, we will have to address, both in Southeastern Europe and in Europe as a whole, the issues of integrating our defense systems and not just using those integrations to save money, but to be able to be much more competitive at the world market and indeed to provide better services to our own citizens. So there's much that lays ahead for all of us. All of this is united by the prospect of accession, and I think that we need to be very practical about the challenges that are faced and address them one by one in order to remove the roadblocks to accession. Thank you.